Hey guys, it's Carissa here, and welcome back to my channel, Inky Fairy Designs. Today I have some watercoloring for you. It was supposed to go up yesterday on Watercolor Wednesday, but I had some issues with my computer and I had to do a lot of cleaning off of the files before I could even download the files for this footage. So I'm putting it up today because it is a Mother's Day card, and if you're inspired by it, I wanted you guys to have a chance to recreate it before Mother's Day. This card is super easy to make, and I'm going to be watercoloring a butterfly. And why I'm watercoloring a butterfly is because my mom asked me to make her a card for her mom. And she wanted a butterfly on it because she loves butterflies. And here I'm showing you like my crazy first attempt at trying to do a butterfly. And obviously you can tell I cannot draw. I cannot sketch. I mean, I say I cannot, but it's just because I have not tried. I don't do a lot of sketching before my watercoloring. And so I was trying to figure out how am I going to get this done because my mom wanted it like the next day. So I remembered I had this package of botanical layers by Tim Holtz, and it has a ton of beautiful photographed butterflies in it. And I said to myself, why not trace it? So I have these graphite aquarelle pencils by Faber-Castell, and so they the lines will go away as you watercolor over them. So I just took the butterfly that I wanted, the shape that I liked, and I traced it with that pencil. And now I'm lightly erasing it so it's a little bit lighter, but that is not necessary as I'm thinking about it after the fact, because it is a watercolor graphite pencil. The lines disappear anyway when the water hits it. So to do the body, because I couldn't really trace the body, I just looked at the butterfly image and kind of sketched it in. So I don't normally tape my watercolor pieces down. You guys know that. You've seen me watercolor for a bit now. But I did want to add a little bit of a border on this one because my mom was going to send a frame with it so my grandma could frame it if she wanted to. So I thought it would look nice and, you know, finished to have a little frame or like a little border around it. So I wanted to do the background first, and I pulled out this yellow color. I don't know which color it is off the top of my head, but I wanted to do the background first for a couple of reasons. One, I just wanted to kind of get a light wash down, and I wanted to get it right up against the lines of my butterfly so that it would kind of look, I was thinking it would kind of look like the butterfly was glowing. So I wanted to have this little glow around it. That's why I chose the yellow instead of like a blue, because I was going to go in and do a green butterfly, and I just didn't want, I wanted it to have some type of contrast. So that's why I went in with the yellow. And if you're wondering, like, all of the colors, I promise I will have them listed in the description below, all of the colors that I'm using. And I am using Daniel Smith colors, Daniel Smith watercolors on this entire painting today. I'm working on Arches cold pressed 140-pound paper, and I let this background that I painted dry overnight. So now I'm ready to go in and start coloring the butterfly. I wanted to do one wing at a time because I wanted to work wet and wet. So here I'm just putting down a clean wash of water, and now I can drop in my colors and let them blend and move where they want to go. So I started off with the light green. Now I'm coming in on the edges and right around the body with a it's a blue color, but I'm going to go over that with a cobalt teal, so it'll just kind of give it a darker, more shadow look that I wanted. My mom, I think I mentioned in the beginning, she wanted a green butterfly, so that's why I chose these colors. And again, I'll have all of the exact colors that I used on the butterfly in the background in the description box below. So here I am. While that side is drying, I'm going to go ahead and put down my clean water again on this other side, and I tried to lift up some of that color that kind of seeped in. But it wasn't lifting, and I could have done it the night before, but I just didn't. and it's totally fine because I am doing a green butterfly. It just adds a little bit more depth where that yellow kind of seeped in, and it makes that glow that much brighter because there's no like white lines in between the background and my butterfly. So I'm just doing the exact same thing that I did on the other one, and you'll see I go in and sometimes drop a little bit more color on the other wing as it's still wet, and I have that color, and just, you know, I'm trying to keep them even, but you know, it's not going to be totally perfect. The sides are going to have differences, and that's just the nature of my painting. So I let that dry again overnight, and now I'm coming in with a number 2 silver black velvet paintbrush that you saw there, and I'm coloring in the body. Now I started with my Payne's blue gray, which I absolutely love, but I wanted it to be a little bit darker, so I brought in my neutral tint, and so that's what I did for the body and all of the veining that I'm creating now in the butterfly wings. So this part is totally freehand, and I'm kind of looking at the different butterflies that I have lying around on my desk for reference, but not using one in particular. So this is just a butterfly of my imagination. It is not from nature, and I think, you know, the veining and all of this little detail work I don't normally do, but it was really, really fun, and I think it took the butterfly to the next level that I really wanted it to go. I wanted this butterfly to be realistic, even though it's not like you couldn't identify it in nature, but I did want it to have a realistic feel to it. And that was different for me as far as like what I'm used to doing in watercolor. I'm used to doing very abstract, loose florals and stuff like that. So this was a little bit of a challenge for me. But, you know, we do those things for, you know, those special people in our lives. Like my mom, she could ask me for anything and I'm going to do it. And she knows I might not do it right away. But since Mother's Day is coming, and I told her I wanted to do a watercolor Mother's Day, like a simple watercolor Mother's Day video anyway. And so this kind of, you know, morphed into the video that you're seeing today. So I just added those veins. I added a little bit of the little dots that you see on some of the butterflies. I brought in another green, a darker like hunter green, to add a little bit more shading on the outside of the wings. And oh my gosh, at this point, I was super happy with the bottom wings and just really, really loving them. This part is a little bit of a fudging and a little bit of a, oh no, what did I just do moment, but it ends up coming out in the end. I think, you know, the veins on the upper wings of a butterfly are a little bit different than the bottom. They have a little more there's more layers to them, I think. And so I was trying to kind of get that look. And you can see here, I just brought in that darker green again because I really didn't like how the tips of those wings looked with the veins there. Each side was a little bit different. And so I just darkened that up and gave it some shadow, and I absolutely love it. I think it gives it more of a green look, gives it a lot more depth and dimension. And I added that same green right around the body where there would be a little bit of shadow there as well. So I'm really happy with the way that this card is turning out. You can see here, I wanted to add a little bit of highlights with this, the Jelly Roll white gel pen. And I wanted to mention that if you do not have the Tim Holtz nature clippings or whatever they're called, You could totally you could print out a butterfly. You could take a photograph of a butterfly and use that. You can cut that out and trace it. There's many ways that you could do this. I went to a size 0 brush for the very, very detail work that I'm doing on the body. So I added a little bit of a rounder head, and then the antenna, of course. And then I'm adding some texture on the body because butterflies, if you look at them, they're like kind of furry and they freak my daughter out. I think that's why. I think their wings are beautiful, but then their bodies are kind of freaky looking. So I wanted to add that texture into my butterfly body. So I did that with the round 0 paintbrush that you see. And now that the top wings are dry, I can come in and add a little bit more of that white detail, some more of those little dots. And I just kind of added some tiny ones around it. And I do that also on the bottom. I wanted to mention what you see on my nails, and in the beginning of the video I had naked nails, so I didn't have any nail polish on, but then towards the end you see that I've switched and I have this really pretty black nail polish with some gold glitter on it. And the reason I can do that is I'm wearing color street nails, and they're 95% dry nail polish strips, and I can put them on my nails and I can do stuff right away, like I can film right away and I can change a diaper. And so if you're interested if you like what you see on my nails in my videos, that's what I've been wearing for the past month, you can check out the link in the description box below. So I'm adding this sentiment from W+9. It's from the Strictly Sentiments 4 collection, and it's all about Mother's Day. And I just love this scripty wording, and so I pulled out the MFT Extreme black ink, and the only reason I did that was because it was the closest black ink on my desk to me. And I'm using my Misty tool to stamp it because it's cold press watercolor paper, which has a ton of texture on it, and you can see I actually had to stamp it 3 times. So having this type of tool is awesome when I'm doing watercolors and creating cards. So all I have to do now is I put it on another watercolor card base, and I just use some dimensional adhesive to put it on there. It's a 5x7 card. My mom wanted a larger card than I normally make because, like I mentioned, she wanted to add a frame in there, kind of making the card a card and a gift in one. So I really love the way that it turned out. I hope this video shows you how you can, if you don't know how to sketch something, just trace the basic shape of it, and then you can color it in and add all of those beautiful textures yourself. So here's some close-ups of my finished card. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I would appreciate it if you liked it, if you'd give me a thumbs up. It encourages me and inspires me to continue making more content like this for you guys. I also wanted to mention quickly that we have announced the winners to the mixed media YouTube hop that we had a couple weeks ago. So go check out my blog. There'll be a link in the description box below. If you left comments on those videos, check out to see if you're a winner. I'm still waiting for a few people to contact me. I'll be back on Saturday for another Stamp Stash Saturday video. Until then, do something creative today. Bye.